You're watching Ride the Teacups, and today I want to argue about the reservation system at Disney. Let's talk about it when I'm done joking. Hey everybody, it's Steve with Ride the Teacups. We are going to talk about that park reservation system, the pros, the cons, what is it, how does it affect you, and does it need to go, does it need to stay? We'll get into all of that, but before we do, hit subscribe, guys, real quick. We're actually running a contest right now for our 250 subscribers. You will be entered in a giveaway to win all kinds of cool stuff, so make sure that you are subscribed. We want to give stuff to you, and of course, we want to grow too. So let's get into the reservation system. First off, what is it? When you go to the Disney parks, you have to reserve a spot in the park, basically. In order to get through the gate, you have to reserve a spot. If you don't have a park reservation, they will not let you into the park. Now, initially, this was something that was set up for COVID. When they went down to like 25-35% capacity, they had much more demand they actually had room for. And so they made this park reservation system so you could guarantee your entry into the park. And you'd know long ahead of time if you weren't going to be able to get in, helped you plan your trip, made a whole lot of sense. But now, today, park attendance is close to 100%, and the CEO, Bob Chapek, talk about him more in a second, but Bob Chapek wants to get back to 100%. He says by the end of September, which would make October 1st, which is Disney World's 50th anniversary celebration, at 100% capacity. So that's what we're shooting for and why we want it on that specific date. Keep that in mind, super important. But he also said the park reservation system is here to stay. He loves it, he loves everything about it, and it is staying even with capacity back up to normal. There's a lot of opposition to this, a lot of very strong opinions for and against. For example, this person says, no, cast members everywhere are saying the park reservation system is here to stay. They say Chapek likes it. He hasn't been CEO long enough to know what's best. Everyone who is here, stop at guest relations at the front of the parks and talk to someone there about lodging a complaint. We need numbers. No, make this go away. And this thread is very interesting. There's a whole lot of support for it. There are some people who are also against it. If I had to guess, the number is skewed pretty heavily towards people who are for the system. So why are people so against this? And really, what is the system? Let's take a really quick look at what this system even is. So I'm going to go over here to my blog, ridetheteacups.com, that you can visit too, by the way. Go into my blog here. We will look for all of the Disney World planning videos. And oh, look, setting up the Walt Disney World app with the park reservation inside of it. Let's play the video, shut off the audio, and if I hover over the bottom here, did you know, guys, you can see all the different chapters and things. So all of that. Look, park reservations, and I can see all that reservation system in here. Let's pause there real quick. So I want to actually show you this park reservation system. So let's head over to mydisneyexperience.com, which is where you're going to go to plan your Disney World vacation. Disneyland has a similar portal also. You can Google search for that. A lot of them do basically the same things, but I'm going to go here because we just went to Disney World, so I'm familiar with the system because I just did it. So in here, if I had tickets and hotel and all that, it would be filled in, but instead I'm just going to make a park reservation. And when I do, I'm going to select the people who are going. Let's say it's just me. And I can find the date that I want to go to. Let's say that I want to go to, how about July 26th? That sounds fun, right? And let's go to Magic Kingdom. Now, I don't have a ticket, of course, for the parks for that date. I was just going through the steps. But let's actually go through that part of the video, which happens to be right here on my blog. Actually see what it looks like. So here's where the dates are. I have my volume turned off, so you're going to see I'm just going to hit a date. It brings up the parks. I'm going to select Magic Kingdom and then click the I have read and agreed to the stuff and hit confirm. And I'm kind of going through the dates for people who have never seen this before, which of course is you here. So let's just do it. So there you go. I've read and agreed to the terms. You should look at the terms if you really want to. Absolutely know what you're getting into. And then there you go. Park reservation done. So yeah, it's really easy to navigate, really easy to do, and that took just a few seconds. Now, in order to actually make that reservation, like you saw, I have to have an actual ticket for the park. Well, why would I buy a ticket if I don't actually know when I can use it? Well, I'm here back at mydisneyexperience.com. I can view the park availability on the big important part that says reservation is required, I can view the park availability. Let's check this out. So there we go. I can see that if I just have theme park tickets, I can go to some of the parks here. Today is July 4th when I'm actually recording this. I can see I can still get a reservation for today. It's afternoon. In Disney World time, it's about 3 in the afternoon. I can still get a park reservation for Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney's Hollywood Studios. I don't have the ability to get into Magic Kingdom or Epcot. They're already at capacity. If I click any of these other yellow ones, like the 11th, I can get into Epcot or Disney's Animal Kingdom and get a ticket into those parks. If I want to go on the 12th, everything except for the Magic Kingdom. Let's check this out. If I wanted to go to Magic Kingdom, I am going to wait until the 13th. And from the 13th on, it's green. I can get into absolutely any park that I want. That is 9 days from today, 1 week. So if you plan your trip a week in advance, you have full availability to do that. A week. And if I go into August, all green. September's all green. October, except for the 1st and the 2nd, the start of the 50th anniversary celebration, where, let's see, if I want to go on the 1st, I can't get into Magic Kingdom or Epcot. I can only get into Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios. On Saturday, the 2nd day of the 50th anniversary, I can get in anywhere except for Epcot. That's pretty good. And then, of course, on the 3rd and then on, it's all green, you guys. I can get in anytime I want. There's November. Let's check this out. December, guys. I can still get a park reservation for Christmas Day. That's awesome. These parks are not filled up. I just have to go in for those few seconds and click that button. That's the reservation system. So some of the reasons that I've seen for people disliking this is that it reduces spontaneity. You can't go to the park the day that you want to go. Except we just looked at the availability. It is July 4th today. You can still, at 3 in the afternoon, there's still availability in 2 of the 4 parks. You can still go. Be spontaneous. Go hit up Animal Kingdom, hit up Hollywood Studios, go ride Rise of the Resistance. Well, no, it's too late for the reservation for that. But ride the Millennium Falcon, ride Slinky Dog Dash, go into Toy Story Land, hit up the hotel, all of that cool stuff. Still, today, right now, spontaneous. Go, right now. Awesome. Super, super cool. But I want to go to Magic Kingdom. Well, then just go next week. It's great. You have the reservations available. Just go do it 1 week in advance. Not so hard. Back in April, when we took our family trip on a Friday, my wife wanted to change her reservation. She wanted to go to Magic Kingdom. We were able to get a reservation for Magic Kingdom back when the park capacity was 35%, the morning she wanted to go. You can still do that. All of those options are still available to you. If you wait until the absolute last minute, some options may not be available to you. But if you plan, say, as we saw, a week ahead, you totally can. People who want to be spontaneous and go to any park that they want at a moment's notice are actually being helped by the reservation system, not hurt. Let me explain that. Let's say the reservation system doesn't exist. It's totally gone. Nothing doing, absolutely no park reservations, and I want to go visit Magic Kingdom today. Now, you saw it would not let me make a park reservation there, right? Because there's no capacity. Well, here's the thing, guys. I get to the park, there's still no capacity. That hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is you heard about it before you got to the park entrance. So I have taken however long it takes me to drive from my house to the parks and actually gotten to the gate after paying for my parking just to be turned away and told, no, we don't have room for you. Of those 2 options, you can either find out about that before you leave your house or when you get to the gates. Spontaneity and wanting to be spontaneous has nothing to do with that. You will either find out that there's no room at the gate or online before you leave the comfort of your house. I think the reservation system is actually saving you time, right? Also, let's take the days that are actually legitimately crowded. So on a normal, non-pandemic time frame, you are going to have a very hard time getting into the park Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and maybe a couple of days in between, where the park is actually at capacity and they actually are turning people away on a regular basis. Park reservation system saves your basically whole vacation because you've already bought the tickets, right? You're already there, right? If you are there and you've bought the tickets and you have the hotel stay and you can't get into the park that you want, that's outrageous. I'd be upset. Now, in order to make sure that I get in before it reaches capacity, I've got 2 kids. They're 3 years old and 6 years old. I would have to get them up and be there at rope drop probably before rope drop in order to beat all of the crowds and deal with either driving there if I'm a local or going through the Disney transportation if I'm actually at the hotel in order to get those kids, those ages there that early and assume there's no temper tantrums or anything else going on. Oh, I am equally frustrated even if I get in. That's a stressful morning. Park reservation system. Today, I can book my park reservation for the Magic Kingdom on December 25th. You saw that. It was green. I can totally do that for me and my family. Christmas morning, we wake up at the hotel that it is that we're staying at. We have a slow, lazy morning of just getting out of bed when we're ready to and getting showered and brushed teeth and all of that stuff. And then get to the park, say maybe at rope drop, maybe an hour after. I'm going to go nuts if it's later than that. I'm a rope dropper, but my family's really not, at least not yet. We can take our time getting there, and we don't have to stress out about beating the crowds and getting turned away. I know what's going to happen on my vacation and exactly where I'm going to be allowed to go. Park reservation has saved my life. And other than, say, that week and a half of the calendar year, in a normal year, there's never an issue with capacity. So there are no problems with the reservation system, and the only thing that you've done differently is you take that many seconds to click a button on the internet before you go. If you're a local, you clicked the button on your drive over. And that's totally fine too for you and your whole family. That doesn't seem like a really huge price to pay in order to make sure that everybody knows exactly what it is they're getting on their Disney vacation. And let's be honest, guys, look at this. This is incredible. Let me go back to my site. I wanted to help you guys out with your planning. I have here, and it's not quite complete. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 13 videos, and gonna be a few more as we finish our packing lists and things you should be packing of what to expect for Disney World. There's a lot of things to expect and to know, and anything that Disney can do to give you peace of mind for knowing exactly what's going to happen, yes, like so much yes, you guys. Be certain of exactly what it is that you're getting into and exactly what's going to happen. That's amazing. Now, I told you there were a couple of downsides to the park reservation system. Here's one more, and it's for you annual pass holders. I did not leave you out. I didn't forget about you. I promise that I listened to you. Annual pass holders can only have 3 park reservations at any given time. 3. 1, 2, 3, count them. No more than 3. That means as an annual pass holder who has paid $1,000 or $2,000 per person in my family, I can only have 3 days actually reserved at a time. So if I know that families coming in for Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever, I reserve those now because I know they're going to be kind of hard to get. I cannot go to the park until then because I've used my 3. I'm stuck. I cannot plan ahead. That's a really, really legitimate downside. I'm going to come back to that. I just want to make sure I mention it. I think that is something that Disney ought to change or update. And I have at the end here, I'm going to have a couple of things that I suggest get updated. I've also heard from some of you on Facebook that say if you bought a limited time pass and you weren't able to get a park reservation in that time frame, Disney's not refunding you. They will let you roll it over into another ticket. But let's say that you got it on sale at a discount or an event. You're going to be paying a whole lot more in order to roll that over to something that is a non-event, non-sale ticket, which is not what you signed up for, and you can't get a refund on it. I think that needs to change. I think that's a really, really big deal that should be updated and advertised more. Now, there are more issues to talk about that are outside the scope of this video. So having things to do with fast passes is outside the scope of this video. We're not going to be talking about that. Park hopping and when it should be allowed and all of that, not in the scope of this video. We're not going to be talking about that. Getting into the park early or staying late, depending on if you're staying on property and what level of resort you're staying on property. That's a big mess outside the scope of this video. So I'm not talking about any of those things. I'm just talking about the reservation system. And here are a couple of things that I would change. First, let's get you pass holders out of the way. That was a very bad way to phrase that, wasn't it? Let's talk about you pass holders first. I think you should be allowed those 3 park reservation days. In fact, Disney has 4 parks. A lot of people have friends or family that fly in, stay with the locals, and then go visit the Disney parks. There are 4 of them. A lot of people fly in for a week. Let's say pass holders get 5 days to reserve in the parks anytime it is that they want. 5 days. You can plan for that week ahead of time. 5 days, not 3. I don't understand the logic for limited at 3. Maybe there's something I'm not thinking of, but let's make it 5 because that seems to make sense. 5 days you can reserve anytime you want. Also, on top of that, annual pass holders can have 3 extra reservations at any point within the next 2 weeks. In the next 14 days, you can have 3 reservations. So in 2 weeks, you reserve 3 days. You can plan out that day. I told you, just reserve next Monday. Well, now you can. You can reserve next Monday and next Tuesday and next Wednesday if you really want to. Whatever you want. You can plan tomorrow, this Saturday, whatever. 3 reservations for the upcoming 2 weeks. On top of that, you can always, as an annual pass holder, make a park reservation for today. So for those of you that really want to be spontaneous, hey, let's go to Disney today. You can, as long as they have room for you, obviously. You can go off and just decide, today, I'm going to go off to a park. Awesome. Helps Disney fill up their capacity for the parks that are kind of lacking it. Helps you kind of understand which parks are going to be low in attendance because they'll be the ones that are left. And again, on a normal day, that'll be every park. Back when we're back to 100% and the demand isn't this absolutely sky high and it's not the week of Christmas, you never had any issues getting into the park. You won't have any issues with that either. And you'll be totally, totally good. You can always decide to go to a park today as long as they have space for you. Does that solve all the problems? I don't know. It solves a lot of them. Maybe all? Let me know in the comments. What did I miss? What does that not help you with? I think that would be a big, huge change. My screen just ended. And we're back. Cool. I think that solves basically everything. You can plan way out ahead if you want to. You're not stuck in the meantime if you do that. You're always able to roll those over so you can have your reservations within 2 weeks. You can have them off in the distant future, and you are never disallowed from going today with your annual passes that you paid $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 per family member for. You shouldn't be excluded from those days when they have room for you. I think that checks all the boxes. Let me know down in the comments, what did I miss? What am I not thinking of? What scenario does that not help you out with? For goodness sake, guys, let's get that done. Second thing that Disney needs to fix, and I mean, seriously, you guys, for a company that's known for customer service, I'm shocked you're not doing it. Maybe you are doing this and I've heard wrong. Let me know if that's the case. But for goodness sake, if you sell a ticket and a person does not make a park reservation within that time frame, you need to give them their money back. Yeah, I mean, you do. I can go and check online and see what the actual availability is. I just clicked a button. You can't see it. There you go. Now you can see it. You can see what the availability is ahead of time, and we know that it is very wide open, but I know that it hasn't been in the past. It's been kind of difficult to get things on some occasions. So if people get a ticket and can't make a reservation, for goodness sake, you sold them a ticket, allowing them entrance into the park, and then you didn't let them into the park, give them a refund. I understand the need for a reservation system. You should not let people into a park if that park doesn't have room for them. I don't disagree with that. But if you sold them a ticket to a park that doesn't have room for them, give them their money back. That needs to happen like today. Maybe that already happens and I'm misinformed. Please let me know. That's what I've heard from multiple people on Facebook groups. But anyway, guys, that's kind of a breakdown of what the park reservation system is, how it works, how you can do it, pros and cons of each. Do you like it? Do you hate it? It's here to stay. Bob Chapek, CEO, has said that it is sticking around. Personally, I'm a fan. I'm not a local. I'm not an annual pass holder. I just go on vacation with family, hopefully once a year, once every 2. That's what we can afford to do. So I think the park reservation is great, but I'm also trying to see it from perspective of annual pass holders, people who live in Florida for Disney World, people who live in Southern California for Disneyland. I'm trying to see it from your perspective too. I think the park reservation is a great system, and I think you should too. I suggest maybe we give it a second chance and see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We'd really appreciate it. It's right over here for you. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and that includes a contest for my first 250. I will be drawing names as soon as we hit that number. I want you to be part of it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time we ride the teacups.